Hey guys, how's it going? Muthurajah here, back with a new video lesson for you all. Wow, I totally lost it towards the end. Good old metronome tripped me up. Today, in this particular lesson, I want to talk about practicing with the metronome. Now, there are mixed feelings about this thanks to various educators out there and various methods of just practicing pertaining to whether one should use the metronome or not. In my personal opinion, while you should not start off directly with the metronome if you're a beginner or even an intermediate player when you're trying to explore certain ideas or concepts, certain ways of playing, but I feel like the metronome down the road can really help enhance a lot of things. And like with anything else, practicing with the metronome primarily focuses on one thing: getting you to play in time. Okay? Be it slightly behind the beat, ahead of the beat, or right on top of it, a metronome helps you with that. So you should eventually practice with a metronome depending on the content. Let's say you've been working with scales and I can play 120 BPM, right? So I put on my metronome at 120, for instance. Okay, I can run my 8th notes there. 16th. Now, if I can do it there, I should be able to do it at half the tempo. So that will be 60. Okay, I haven't actually sat down and practiced the metronome for a while, and I was just doing that earlier, and that's why I decided to just, set up my camera and do a lesson. So anything you play at a particular tempo, try to drop it by half and play the exact same thing. It starts to highlight your weaknesses, whether you drag or rush. In my case, I tend to push a lot. I'm a very pushy player, so sometimes I struggle with playing perfectly in the pocket if there's a need for it, because I have a tendency to rush. Right? So that is one very typical way of using the metronome on all 4 beats. The next thing you can do is either placing your metronome on 2 and 4 or 1 and 3. So my metronome is at about 100 BPM right now, 100 BPM. So I'm going to treat this as my 1 and 3 and play a blues. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now doing this doesn't require too much stress because I'm not too focused on the time as much as I'm focusing on my note choices. And that's also because it's quite easy to play against the metronome. No matter what I want to do, it's not challenging, but I can't neglect that though. Let me try putting it on 2 and 4. 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. If you watch my last lesson, I talk about trying to emphasize all 4 beats. And I'm trying to do the same thing while the click is emphasizing 2 and 4. Okay, very generic ways, 3 ways: on all 4s, and then dropping that into half, and then on 1 and 3, and then the next thing will be on 2 and 4. Now, some of you might wonder what I was actually doing in the opening of the video. That is one of the ways I loved using the metronome in the past, and I kind of go back to it every now and then, but I haven't done it for a while, so it was quite rusty. The idea is to drop the metronome down low, so now it's at 40 BPM, for instance. Now, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, because I have ample space there, I can do other things. But obviously, what I like to also do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Even this alone can help me find my weaknesses, if there are any. Seems like my English is quite weak today. So you can hear that I rush a little over there. And also trying to talk and play, this is quite a daunting task for me. So this is a great exercise in itself. Now I can switch that over to 2 and 4. Beats 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. There, I'm rushing again. So when you practice this way, it really highlights the tendencies you have to rush or drag. Man, what am I playing? And what you'd notice also that I switched to picking with one finger, because it can help me control the way I pace things. Now if I try to play solos this way, okay, you can see it's really putting me in a different spot altogether, because for someone like me, I'm at a particular place where I'm also trying to focus on my note choices. So I'm trying to actually create interesting phrases, but also trying to focus and keep time. And I'm struggling with it. Okay, so that's why it is very important to have the content down first. Be it scales, be it a classical piece, be it whatever it is, you need to have the content down first before you actually sit down with the metronome. And I think that's where everybody goes wrong. Okay, so content first and then the metronome later. I want to explain what I did in the opening of the video, and then I'm going to wrap up this lesson, because I don't want to yap on, because there's so many things you can do with the metronome, but I don't want to overload you with information either. So coming back to 40 BPM, what we did earlier was subdividing the click into equal fours. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I can put that as quintuplets. I can break each quarter note as fives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I can take those fives and group them as fours. So what starts to happen there is that the click starts to displace. It would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So I can play my blues the same way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So obviously I can drop the metronome down to even 30 and do the same. It gets harder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Man, I completely messed it up towards the end. So drop the metronome to a tempo where it's super slow. Group each quarter note into 5s or 6 or 7s, however you please, and whatever you're trying to achieve. But the primary goal is, if you notice, I'm trying to depend on the metronome for a sense of my time, but I'm also trying to be independent of it. So that is how one should actually sit and practice with the metronome. So again, get the content down first. Start with your regular approach to playing them with the metronome, 120, 130, whatever it is, wherever you're at. Drop it in a half. Can you handle yourself? Great. Now let's do it 2s and 4s, 1 and 3, and then drop it down further and approach with groupings. Okay, so I hope you get something out of this, and I'll see you guys in the shed. Stay safe and hydrated. Peace.